Good to go.
Okay, welcome everybody. I'll reintroduce myself. My name is Joy McDonnell and I work at Cricut. And I am so excited to introduce you to a brand new product that we have. I'm going to work with 3 different camera angles, but we'll play around. This is the foil transfer kit. We are very excited about bringing this out for Cricut. It is a pressure activated foil kit. It works with your Cricut Maker and with the Explore Air 2 family. It does not work with the Cricut Joy, and we'll go over that as we go along. And I have all, so I think we're ready. I think we got everybody. Okay, so I'm going to start with a PowerPoint, and then we are going to run through the product, how it works, show you guys how to make some cute things for the holidays, and then we'll give you a little question and answer time. All right, so we'll get started with sharing my screen, and you'll have to be a little bit patient with me as I do this because it's going to start sharing as a smaller version, and then I need to make it bigger for you. All right, let me present. Okay, here we go. So if you're not familiar with the foil transfer kit, sorry, it is a housing and 3 extra, I guess, tips that will work, that will make a fine, a medium, and a bold foil impression on your substrate. Like I said, it works with the Air 2 Explore family and also the Maker, but not the Cricut Joy. So if you have the little one, it does not work with the Cricut Joy. What this system is absolutely elegant. It will apply foil. I've been in the craft industry for a long time, and I've worked with those little pens that heat up that you have to push down and make the foil transfer, or the old-fashioned like the glue, and then you would apply the foil on top of it. This integrates exactly with your Cricut design space. So the application of the foil is very fine detail, very exquisite, and really brings your crafting up to the next level. Within the kit, if you're getting that foil transfer kit, the box, you get 6 sheets of silver foil, 6 sheets of gold foil. You get tape that you need to tape the foil down, and then you have the housing and the 3 different tips. So the thing about these 3 different tips that's important to point out is that each one of the tips has a little stripe. If you can see that, this one has 1, this one has 2, and this one has 3. The single stripe is fine. The 2 stripes is medium, and the 3 stripes is bold. And that's really the thickness that the foil goes down. So imagine a fine tip pen as opposed to a bold tip pen. If you think of it that way as the tips go, you have the fine at the top, the medium, and then the bold. And we're going to play around with the different sizes and some different projects that you can make, but I want to show you some projects and how elegant this is. The foil was used on the envelope here and along the side of the invitation. So if you're doing anything for the holidays, cards, gift wrap, this can really make some beautiful things for you. In this project, this is where Cricut really comes together to offer you something amazing. This is where you can cut the box, and the details of the flowers, but you can also add now this foil on top of everything to really bring your projects to the next level. So this is a great example of the cutting and the foil. This is an octopus, a sucker for you. And not only will Cricut apply this foiling in this fine detail, but you get everything cut out, and of course, an envelope. So if you play with the different sizes of the tips, you have in the D+M at the top here, that's the bold, and then the date is done in the fine. And I think the outside might also be the fine, or it could be the medium. But see how if you play with those different tips, you can get sort of a different result. Here's an example of The foil comes, the kit comes with gold and silver, but there are other foil colors available in little 4x6 packs, and we'll talk about that a little bit when we go to my overhead screen. But here it is in red on the black, and you can also see how pretty the red is on the envelope over here in the white. So it's really gorgeous. And if time permits, we are going to do this card today where this combines two colors in one project. So you have the blue and the green, and you can see how nicely it blends. Visually, it creates one overall look. So as you're working with this, this is where the arts and crafts and really truly the artists in us really come out. So the things that you can make are, as Cricut always says, your options are just limitless. You can do gift tags, you can do cards, you can do gift wrap, you can do all kinds of things. But for today, I need to have projects that can kind of create quickly and easily and give you the full picture of everything. So we're going to focus in on some cards and the tags, and if we have time, we'll get to the card. So this is a holiday tag. And this is another one that, again, adds that bold line at the top and the thinner line at the bottom. So you can see how pretty that looks. And we're going to make that one today. If you want to create what we've created here today, I'm using the Cricut Maker machine, the Cricut Foil Transfer Kit. I'm also, if we get to that card, I'll be using the Quick Swap scoring wheel, as well as the fine point blade, the light grip cutting mat. I tend to like that cutting mat the most with cardstock, but I may use two different mats depending on what I loaded behind me. And some cardstock in different colors, and of course Design Space. And I think because this is a new tool, I would suggest you give yourself 2 to 3 hours to really sit and play and get familiar with this tool. So one of the things I want to point out before we get into Design Space is that the real action of getting this tool to do what you want it to do is right up here in this line type portion of Design Space that has a drop down menu, and all the way when you click on that drop down menu, you will see the foil option come up here, and then you can choose your fine, medium, and your bold. So I'm going to try and spend some time in Design Space really showing you guys how to do that, because I think understanding how to drive this particular tool is just as important as knowing what you want to make. We also have, I always want to show you guys this tool holder because I think it's really great. If you have the Quick Swap tools, the tool holder is fabulous because you can save all your tips in here. And I will be using mine today to store, so you can store your housing in the top part. And then if you open this tool container at the bottom, you can put your little tips in there so that you don't lose anything because they are little. Okay, so we are ready to get started. And I hope you guys are super excited. So let's go ahead and go right over to Design Space so that we can start creating. And I'm going to share my screen again. And I've already got something on my Design Space canvas. All right, can you guys see that okay? I'm assuming that's a yes. Okay, good. All right, so one of the things, sorry. All right, so there's a gallery, you know, all the pictures of people kind of show up down here on the side. And sometimes it's tricky for me to see what my Design Space is if I don't move over that gallery. So if I hesitate for a moment, that's why. But I want to show you in Design Space, let's go to the home and imagine that we have just signed in, right? And this is what you would see. You would see the beginning up here, and then your projects, and then projects that have been recently loaded to Design Space. There are ready to make projects with the foil transfer kit. And then we also do call out right here, the foil transfer kit. And sorry to minimize these pictures. And you can see all the projects that are right here available to you. So I am going to go ahead and say, let's start a new project. And oh, you know what? I think we'll replace what I already had on on my canvas because I'll just start over again. All right. Now we have a couple choices. If we wanted to, we could just go to this projects icon over here on the side. And if I click that, that's going to take me right here to all the Make It Now projects. So you can see all the things that lots of projects that I just showed you are loaded right in here and are ready to just make right away. So I think let's go ahead and just make this Merry and Bright tag first. And because I can click on it and then I can say, make it, um, show you a couple of things here. As I scroll down, it gives you a description of what the card is. It gives you the tag. It gives you the finish size, tells you what your materials are, what you're going to need, if you need to do any preparation, and then your instructions are right here. We always include a little tip, which is nice. And then your assembly instructions. And then if you're curious about any of the icons that are used within the project, those are always listed down here at the bottom. So if you want to change anything or make it any different, you can do that. But I think for today, oh, and then we also have different pictures up here at the top. So you can always scroll. If you see these little dots up here, that means there are some extra pictures for you to see. And you can just scroll right over and see what they are and see what it would look like on the canvas. So let's go ahead and hit make it. And what that automatically does, it bypasses any of the creating that I need to do, and it takes me right to the mat, right to where I want to get started. So I want to point out some things that are a little bit different here because we're using two different tips here. We have the fine and we have the bold, and then we are going to cut. With the foil, I'm going to show you a few things about applying the foil to the canvas. It's nice to kind of scoot this over just a smidgy bit. Now, my foil is 4 inches wide, so I kind of want to stay within that range. But if I scooch them away from the edges, we're going to tape down that foil, and that avoids getting any of the tape near the project that we're going to be making. We know that we're going to start with that fine point, and then we're going to go to the bold, and then we're going to cut. And there are some steps that we're going to follow to do this. Design Space walks you through all of these steps. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. It's going to ask me which machine I'm using, and I'm going to use my maker. And we're going to apply this to cardstock. Now look, this is the cool thing that Cricut does. When we say that this tool is integrated with Design Space, we really mean there's a lot of product testing that goes on, and our software teams and our product developers, they've created this amazing step-by-step. So don't just breeze by this. Really look at it, because it's going to tell you here is the tip that you're loading. It's the one with the single stripe on it. It's the fine tip. We're going to tape down the foil to the project, and then we're going to load the mat. So for a moment, I'm going to stop sharing this and come back here. And we're going to go to the overhead view. And I've got everything lined up here so that you can to get sort of a familiarity of the product. The kit itself looks like this, and it's a box that you get, and it's got the housing in it along with those tips that we just talked about. And then it also comes with a little booklet that you can read to kind of get familiar, and it's got all these steps and all this information in here about Design Space, so that is super helpful. You get your 12 pieces of foil in this little plastic baggie, but I want to point out something before you go ripping into it, and so that you don't do what I did. If you open this baggie, it's got a little adhesive right here across the top. If you just fold this little baggie over, that will make a world of difference as you take your foil out. Because if you don't close up that little piece of foil there, when you go to take this out, your foil can stick to that adhesive, and that's sort of a bummer. So we'll go ahead and take this out, and we have 6 sheets of silver and 6 of gold. And then you also have these stickers. Now I'll show you how you use the tape to tape down the foil as we go through the process here. If you want to get extra foil, it's also sold at Michael's in gold and silver in 12 by 12 size. And then we have 4 by 6 packs. I believe the jewel and the metallic are in store, and the ruby one is available online. So you have all, and in each of these packs, you have all these different colors. So it's really cool. So I'm going to slip that off to the side so we have some space to work in. And like I said before, that tool holder, with the tool holder, you can take these tips, because I am famous for losing things, and I'm just going to put them right in there, and that's going to keep them safe and sound. And then as I'm working, I like to keep my the housing up in here, because we're going to switch things back and forth. Okay, so let's get started. First thing we want to do is, I've already got some cardstock applied to a mat. And like I said, I like to use the light grit mat, but I do want to show you guys something. When we were first testing and playing with the product, we didn't realize that if you just let that foil touch your mat, it will apply right down onto your mat. Can you guys see that I accidentally applied that foil there? So it's really important to keep your mat covered up and keep it kind of away from the foil, and apply the foil to your substrate and not accidentally to your sticky mat. Okay, so we will go ahead and get started, and I've already got a piece of 4 by 6 black cardstock applied to my mat, and this is the light grit mat. You will have to excuse my messy, dirty mat. I have a sisal carpet that seems to get a lot of fuzz on my mats. And then we're going to use let's do the gold. I think that will look really pretty on the black. So the way that you apply this, the shiny side goes down, and you then take those little pieces of tape and just pull them off. And what you're doing is applying the tape. It'll do like a little static thing. It'll jump up and catch right onto the foil will jump up statically onto this tape. And you have enough tape within the kit to tape all 4 by 6 pieces down. So I let that static just sort of jump up and grab that foil, and then I'm going to pull it nice and taut. I want that to be nice and like firm, so that as the tip is coming across, it's not pinching or moving that foil anywhere, just keeping it down there. So now you guys might be asking, I don't see it in the chat, but a very common question is, can I reuse the tape? And the answer is yes, if you're very careful. You can reuse that tape. Okay, so we've got our piece taped down, and now let's go ahead and go over to the maker, and we're following the instructions. So I'm gonna just go ahead and change my camera over here to the maker. We followed our instructions, and we got everything loaded from Design Space, and my light is blinking over here. So I know I can go ahead and put, oh, and don't worry, this purple piece down here is for another project. So we're going to slide that in there and go ahead and press the arrow. And that's going to load everything in and have it ready. Design Space tells me I'm ready to go when this little light is blinking. So I just push that little light. Oh, wait, pause. You guys, what did I do? This is where product is new. Oh, wait, I want to hit pause. This is where product is new, and we have to remember to follow our instructions. I jumped back and forth on things, but I forgot to put the proper housing in here. So let's fix my mistake. And I need to use the fine tip That's this one. And the housing itself has a little plunger over here. I'm going to depress that plunger and just slide that tip right in. And then I have the cutting blade in here. And the nice thing is, you guys, if you do that, if you're like me and you accidentally do that, the Cricut will let you pause. It'll give you a chance to correct your mistake. You do have to move kind of quickly, but you can correct your mistake. Okay, now we have the housing and the fine tip in there, so let's go ahead and let it get started. And it is going to make my Mary. Now, I might have made a little bit of a mistake and it might have cut a little in the beginning, but you guys will forgive me and my little error. But we're going to be using two blades. We're using this embossing one, and we are using the foil tip, and then we are using the, I can talk and work at the same time. We're going to also be using the fine point cutting blade. Okay, but I want to go back to design space, because the reason I am stuttering over myself is because it's important to look at these steps and how much work our software team has done. Okay, so I started with a fine tip, and you might have noticed that my light was blinking and asking me to do something. The whole machine stopped. It's telling me that I need to now go get that bold tip and change that bold tip. So, and here you can, so this shows you all your steps. So let's stop sharing here and come back over here. And I am going to take this housing back out. I don't want to touch this mat. The machine is holding it in here. Something else that I didn't say in the beginning, I moved the star wheels over to the edges. Sometimes as they come across the foil, they can leave a mark. So it's a good policy to just scooch them out of the way. All right, so I'm going to depress this tip and take the fine point tip out. And then I have the bold tip. So I'm gonna pop that right in there. It's nice and magnetic. It just sort of like sucks right in there. Okay, so close that up. And the machine says, all right, if you've done everything the instructions told you to do, you can go ahead and press this button. So we'll do that. And it's going to come in, and now it's going to do the, I think it's Mary, that's in the nice bold. This is what we're making right here. So it's going to do the Mary and the bright. I think actually when my camera goes, it turns it backwards. So you guys see that backwards, don't you? All right.
No, that's actually the correct way.
Is it the correct way?
Yes.
Thank you. I see somebody asking if the machine works with the Cricut Joy, and it does not work with the Cricut Joy. It works with the Explore Air 2 family and the Maker family. Okay, so now here's my next step. We're going to go back and share my other screen again, because I want to show you what Design Space is telling me to do next. So let's go back here and share this. So here, look at what it says. Important, do not unload the mat. We're going to remove the foil, and we're going to put in the fine point blade into the clamp, and then we're going to press go. So if you guys are like me and you get super excited, like, remember to take a break and follow your instructions, because if you leave the foil in place, it will cut your foil and it'll mess up your project. So my policy is I sort of take out that foil tip and I leave this empty. That way I don't accidentally forget what I'm doing. So now we're going to go ahead and remove this foil. And again, we're not taking the mat out of the machine. And I could use this part of the foil. I can leave the tape on here. I can reuse all of this. So we're just going to carefully take this off. And I have that foil on there now. And now I can put my blade in here, close that up, and now I can press the go button. So if you want, while this is cutting, because it'll cut pretty quickly, I'd love to show you this project right here. You can see that foil on there, and that is a beautiful invitation. And you get that foiling and all of the cool artwork that Cricut is known for, such special, intricate cutting. Okay, we're ready to unload, and then we'll go over to our tabletop and see how this looks. All right, so here we have our project. I'm going to take it right off the mat. And as Cricut is known for, that cut beautifully. I just have the little circle down here at the bottom. And we have our Merry and Bright tag. But I'm noticing my lighting is not that. Here we go. There you guys. Now you guys can see that. Isn't that pretty? Like, could you imagine putting those on all of your packages for this holiday? Okay, so now let's do a few more things over in Design Space, and let's get a little fancier in how we're working with Design Space. Go ahead.
Real quick, we've had a couple people ask if you can show both sides of the foil so they can see what the other side is supposed to look like.
Oh, good question. Yes, I'm also going to get my screen set up for the right piece here. Yeah, so yeah, the other side is just a matte sort of side.
Oh, hold on. You've got to unshare your screen.
Oh, did I mess up? Okay. Sorry, people. All right, there we go.
Good.
Okay, so the other side is a matte side. Now, this is where I could accidentally put my foil on my mat. So let's get that out of the way before I do something crazy. So this is the back side, and this is the front side. So you'll know if you're using, I'm sorry, it's so hard to get this lighting right with this shiny material. You'll know if you're using the right or the wrong. You want to put the shiny side up when you're working with the foil. Okay, does that help?
Yes, very much.
All right, good question. Okay, so now we're going to come over here to Design Space, and we're going to get a little fancier in Design Space. So let's go ahead and share this. And so we're done with this project. So I'll go ahead and hit finish. And let's say we want to start a whole new project. We want to design something on our own. We're going to go over here to the top left corner and click New. And then we're going to come down here to Images. And this is where all those images are in Cricut Design Space. You can search by image sets, or you can simply type in something that you would like. So I'm going to type in holiday. No, I'm going to type in Christmas tags. Now that's going to bring up a lot of stuff, right? And I need to find some artwork that cuts and draws to work with the foil. So the next thing I want to do is come over here on my left and go to Art Type. And I'm going to open this little area up, and I'm going to click on Draw Only right here in that box. And bam, just like that, I get all these cute tags. And these are put into Design Space to draw, but I'm going to show you how we can change that over to do something with the foil. So let's say we want to do this one. This looks like a cute tag. We'll go ahead and insert the image. Now on this particular tag, if we look over here to the right, you can see where it says draw and cut. We want to leave the cutting how it is, but instead of drawing, we want this to be foil. And if you remember, I pointed out earlier this line type up here in our top toolbar. So we're going to click, right now it's a draw. So we're going to click that drop down menu and come right down here to foil. And all of a sudden these choices are going to pop up, fine, medium, and bold. So let's do the medium because we've done fine and we've done bold. So let's do the medium on this project. Now let's say I want this to be green. I'm going to make my tag green. So I'm going to come over here to my cut option, and I want to just change this because sometimes when I look at the foil on the colors, I can get an idea of what I think I like. This is the foil in gold, but I'm going to click on that layer. I'm going to come up here to the line type, and I have the gold as the outline. But let's say I think silver might look prettier. I can take a peek at that and say, yeah, I kind of like the way that looks. So let's go ahead and make this. So we'll hit make it. That brings us up to our canvas where we have the foil, medium, and cutting. So we know we're going to need that foil tip. We're going to do that first, and then we're going to cut second. So I can go ahead and put my cardstock down, apply the foil, do the foiling, and then cutting. Okay, so we'll go down here to continue and tell Design Space which machine we're using. And we're going to do this on cardstock. And our first step is right here. So that we're going to load the medium tip. We're going to tape everything down, and then we're going to put that into the machine. So let's come on over to the desktop over here. And I had loaded a piece of purple on my mat, but let's do green. And let's take a moment to talk a little bit about cardstock colors and some of the suggestions our team has. I wish I had my lighting a little bit better here for you guys, but a lot of the jewel tones and dark colors look really pretty with the foiling system. If you're using the metallics, it looks beautiful on white. If you're using some of the color metallic on white cardstock, looks really pretty too. So we're gonna go ahead and choose that green piece of cardstock. And you might say, Joy, you're wasting your material. But I'm doing this because I don't want to accidentally get anything onto my mat. And my piece of foil, did we say we were doing gold or silver? I can't remember. Oh, we are going to do silver? All right, let's get the silver. And I want to show you also that you can take this tape off and you can reuse it. So I want you to be comfortable and feel like you're not wasting anything as you're going along.
We've had some confusion about shiny side up or shiny side down. Can you actually show us that Merry and Bright up close?
Yes.
It's actually missing from like the foil part.
Yes, I'm going to do it as best as I possibly can. The Merry and Bright, so you want shiny side up. And that this part, it's hard to see that that's a matte. There we go. That's a matte. And the shiny side goes up.
Yes. So like the actual gold from the Merry and Bright is actually missing from your foil piece now.
Yes.
Because it's on the card. Exactly.
So now that's used. I can't reuse that part, but I can reuse this part down here below. Okay. Where I haven't used it up yet. Okay, but the tape I can reuse. And again, I'm putting this tape on so that I get that taut application of the foil.
And you can make more than one tag at a time, whatever fits in the foil
you can.
space.
You absolutely can. The only reason I'm doing one at a time is because we don't want to watch the machine working the whole time in class. So let's go ahead and go on over to, let's go back to Design Space real quick, because it's always super important to check back in with Design Space to remember exactly what you're doing and making sure that you have what you need in place. So we are going to do the medium tip. We've taped everything down and we're ready to load our product, our mat in. So let's go back over here to our machine view. Okay, we got that. And now look what I would do. This is me. I would just jam this in here. But I have to remember, take that step, take this out, get my tips right. Right now it has the bold in here, so I'm going to take that out. And we want to put in the fine. Get that right in there. Oh no, we were doing medium. So that's the 2 stripes. Let's get that medium tip. Go ahead and put that in there. And then we can take the mat with our material on it. And our light is blinking. It's ready to go. So we're going to load that in. And then you can go ahead. And now that foiling will start to happen. As that's working, I want to show you a couple of things that our creative team has made that I think is amazing. This is a beautiful card that has this foil on it that is just so amazing. And look how intricate and special that is. This is that ginkgo leaf that I showed you earlier. It's just, all that detail is amazing. And here's another mandala sort of piece right here. And you can see how beautiful that looks. I also have here this pretty happy birthday card. You saw the one in the presentation that had 2 colors on it. But if you go to a darker cardstock and just use a metallic, that turns out really super pretty. One of my coworkers made these beautiful earrings that are made out of a pebble leather. And the foil is done right on that. And that is super beautiful. Another tag, like the cutout that we're doing right now, this is with that purple. And what I think is super special is how it cuts right around where that foiling is. Okay.
So we've had some people ask the setting that you're using for the materials because they want to know the pressure.
That's how Cricut works for you. This is how well it's integrated into Design Space. So you don't have to figure out the pressure. All you have to do is say, this is the foil, it's on cardstock, and the machine does all the pressure for you. You don't have to adjust the pressure at all. Okay, but now that it's spit out this piece right here, let's go back to Design Space real quickly, because I just want to make sure that you guys are seeing how the instructions are coming across from Design Space, because the steps do matter. So here, again, it's important that you don't unload the mat. So you don't take that out of the machine. We're just going to take the foil off. We're going to put in the blade, and then we're going to go ahead and cut. So let's come back here to our project. I am going to change this over to the fine point blade. But like I said before, I like to just take it out and remind myself I've got to take this foil off. So as I take this off, you are going to see where that foil is applied. And now I'm going to put my blade in, close that up, and then hit my go. And that will come right in and cut that tag for me.
Are we going to do one more tag?
We are going to do, I have some other tags, but I wanted to show you that card and how you change the foil colors.
Okay.
So I think we have enough time. Yeah, we have enough time to do the card. So these are some of the other tags that I cut previously, just so that you could kind of get a visual on how pretty they are. But I also want you to think about, some of the other projects that you can make. But isn't that gorgeous when you put the tag on your present? So you can do a thank you. I'm doing some holiday ones. I also want to show you how fine and beautiful this can get. So here's some flower images. I did a little holly and changed out the red and the green, and it cut around that. But you can get these applications of foil. And if you're wondering, like, as you're making these, what are some of the things that you can do? Here's an example of where we just took the ginkgo leaves. Sorry, you're seeing all my lights now. But you can frame that and make a beautiful little framed piece. Or you could make, if you know somebody who's getting married, you could do a really pretty set of treat boxes that you have after the wedding. Or you could just make those fun for just to give out little gifts in, presents in, all kinds of things. Okay, so we'll just take this right out And I think because my lighting is a little bit better over here, we'll just go ahead and remove this from the mat over here. And see how all those little pieces stay on. I think that is so terrific. Everything's on there. I don't have to mess with anything. And I have this really nice tag. I have a few little fuzzies at the top I could trim off, but I get that beautiful tag. So do you guys want to make a card? Let's play with the card because I want to show you the different, some of the things that we can do. So I'm just getting my mat already loaded with my white cardstock on it. Let's go back over to my tabletop over here so I can show you what we're going to do. This is the card right here, and it's got that blue and green on it. And the project also comes with the envelope. So we have 15 minutes. Let's see how well Joy can do this. So I'm going to transfer my screen back over to Design Space. I hope everybody's getting inspired. It's funny when you teach these classes and I can't see your reaction, or I'm hoping you're oohing and awing and you just think this is beautiful. Okay, so we're going to go to Projects, and let's find that birthday one. It is a Make It Now project. So here it is right here, and all that Make It Now. And I can just click the Make It button. Again, all of the instructions are right here for me. My materials, everything that I need, any preparation, and then the images that were used in this project. So we're going to go ahead and click Make It. And we're going to replace the other mat. That's okay with me. Now on this one, we're going to score. We're going to do our foil with the fine tip, and then we're going to cut. So there are several steps, and we'll come back and forth in showing you everything, but we're going to score first. So the foil needs to be applied while we're at the machine. So let's go ahead and click Continue. We'll choose our device, and we'll choose cardstock. So somebody asked how you set the pressure. You can see that Cricut has already worked all that out. As soon as I choose cardstock, it's going to go ahead and create all the pressures that I need. All right, now we're going to load the single scoring wheel into the clamp, and we're going to go ahead and hit go. So let's go back over to our machine. All right, great. I have my cardstock ready, but I've got the fine point blade in. So I need to change to the scoring wheel, and that's the single scoring wheel. There are choices. You have the single or the double. You know you have the single because it has the 01 on it, and this is the quick swap. So again, this one changes out just like the other, and I can change this from a single to a double scoring wheel. You would use a double scoring wheel if you're using heavier cardstock or like a glitter cardstock or something like that.
So we did have somebody ask if they can use the foil on cardstock that isn't just plain cardstock, if it's like a textured cardstock or a glitter cardstock.
Yes, I'm using the foil on a textured cardstock, and it works fine. I haven't tried it on a glitter cardstock yet, but it's certainly worth trying, right? Like everything is worth trying. Okay, so the machine is doing our scoring, and I need to find what I did with the other colors of foil. All right, so we're going to use the blue and green, and we're going to do everything over here. So this is the little 4x6 pack with the blue and the green in it. And I'm just going to go ahead and carefully take those out. Piece of the green foil. And I'll show you the back side so that we can, I'm trying to be all careful here, but really I should just show you guys what I'm doing. Where's my blue? Here's my blue. Okay. And again, this has the tape in it. The tape is in all of the sets, whether it's a 4x6 or a 12x12, you have all the tape that you need. So that's good. All right, and we are, I gotta remember, I think we start with the green. I normally go back and double check that in Design Space, but it's okay. It doesn't really matter which one I go with first. But now I've got to apply, I've got to put the foil down here while I'm in the camera. So this is the back side. I think you can see it so much better over here. This is our front side. Shiny side up, our color is showing. And we're just gonna put that right onto the cardstock. And then I'm using the adhesive strips that come with the kit. And I like to go ahead and start on this side first because it's kind of sucks up onto that tape. And then I can steer it over here where I want it to go. And then it's like quilting. You want to go from opposite sides to get that tension. So you can see I'm kind of giving it a nice pull and applying that down. If you don't get it perfectly, just pick it back up, take your time. There we go. And just put a strip across the top. Again, giving that tension, and then a strip down here at the bottom. Oh, you know what I did, you guys? I spent all this time doing this, but our foiling is going to happen down here. So that was a good exercise in applying foil and then having to move it. So you can see how nicely that comes up. No problems. I want to apply this below my scoring line. So I'm just going to look really carefully for that scoring line and apply this there. And again, giving myself that tension. Now it's sort of flopping off the side. Once the machine takes everything in, if I feel like anything isn't perfectly the way I want it, I can pause it and fix anything. But there you go. Disaster averted. This is my next one. I don't want to miss this. So I'm going to take this out and let's go back to Design Space and check and make sure which size we need to have. So we're going to come back over here, going back to Design Space, and you guys will see this a lot easier. You'll see what it's telling you to do. So it is our green foil first. I did the right thing. So we're going to get our fine tip into our housing. And slide that in.
You're going to want to unshare your screen.
Oh, sorry, you're right. So many steps. Okay, and then we're going to hit that. So I just put the fine tip into the housing. I'm going to go ahead and hit go. So that's going to take it in, and then we'll switch it out and do the blue side. So now is a good time to answer any questions that anybody has.
You know, we had some people very worried about the foil placement.
And I was doing it in the wrong space?
Yes.
They were like, Joy, pay attention. Thank you, everybody. I'm so glad I have folks who are paying attention. So let's see if we have, what kind of questions are you guys asking? Is there a specific mat for foil project, or is it a special layer to be applied on top of any standard size mat? It's when you're choosing your mat, whether you're using a light grip or a standard grip or any of the other mats, it's really based on the substrate that you're using. So when I say substrate, that would be cardstock, faux leather. If you were going to do it on, if you were going to try this on wood or anything else, the mat is really about the connection between the mat and the substrate you're using. And the foil is actually being applied to the substrate, not to the mat. Because again, if you accidentally put the foil on the mat, it's going to take the foil and leave it behind on the mat. Okay.
So some people want to know what other stuff you can apply foil to.
I should have been more prepared to tell you guys all the different things. Our teams have been trying this on so many different things. I think I've seen projects where definitely the faux leather, we have tried it on, you know, I don't want to say a material and then be wrong and steer you guys down the wrong path. If you go to Cricut.com or you go into Design Space, it's going to show you a lot of different projects. But this is the crafter in me. This is the kind of person that I am. I like to challenge things, and I like to try things on different, I like to just try things. So I would say give it a run for its money and try some different types of materials. But Courtney Hayman, who is our product manager, she is telling me craft board, faux leather, vellum, and paper. So she's probably like, Joy, don't say wood. So that's a little clue right there.
Can the
So it
foil
looks
project
like-
be changed to draw with a metallic pen?
Can the foil project be changed to
Draw with a metallic pen. I'm assuming they're wondering if they can
Oh,
change out the head and use a metallic pen instead of the.
right. If you are going the other way around. Yeah, I don't see why not. That could probably change. Can you talk about the foil tape placement on the mat? Yes. So as you're taping down your foil, you want to kind of just hit those little edges. You don't need the tape to, you want the tape to split the difference between the foil and your substrate so that it really holds it down nicely. And you want to get it on there nice and taut. When I say taut, you want to have some tension in the actual material so that it's not wrinkling up as this blade, this tip is coming across it. Because you can see as we're working this particular project, it's going repetitively back and forth over different spaces. So, so it's really going to cover a lot of ground, and having it on there with the good tension is really important. Okay, I'm hoping we can get that next one done in the next few minutes. All right, so I'm going to take this up, and you guys can see that. I'm just going to take up this foil. And then go ahead and apply the blue. If you have any stray marks, I've used an eraser to take away some of the stray marks if I find any. All right, so I'm going to go against that score line again, and I just moved my tape somewhere. There we go. All right. And we're going to do the same process. We're just going to apply this down. I'm going to try and move faster. Try not to be too sloppy, crafter.
If we go a little bit over, it's no worries.
Is that okay?
Yeah, perfectly fine.
All right, if y'all can hang in there with me.
And someone wants to know, does the maker tell you where you place your foil on the mat? Or design space?
I know, because this one's a little bit different. You kind of have to look at your canvas before you get started. So definitely look at what your design is looking like so that you don't miss a spot. And I'm going to keep leaving this on the actual project over here because I think it's good to see it. So somebody says you can use the area that has not been pressed yet. Oh, I think that's
Courtney.
answering this question.
Yeah, Courtney was wondering if you could, or not wondering, answering that you can use the parts that you haven't pressed down yet.
Right. So this is that Marion Bright one that we did earlier. This would be not usable, but this part where we haven't used it yet is totally usable. If that makes sense.
So someone asked, when you're using two different colors of foil, how do you make sure that they are lined up?
See, again, this is the amazing part of Design Space. And I think because I work at Cricut, I get to see all of this now. As a Cricut user before I worked at Cricut, we have an entire Illustrator team who is working behind the scenes to make sure that the files that they set up on a Make It Now project are perfect. And then our software team, a team of incredible people, work behind the scenes to make sure that the machine has the right pressure, is going into the right places. And Courtney and Chelsea are both on here, and Anna Rose might be on here as well. They work really hard with the beta testers and our production teams to make sure that the product is going to do exactly what we say it's going to do, so that there's no hard work for you. There's like no guesswork at all. And that's when I got this home, I was like, I think I could just make that card, and I just applied the foil and it came out perfectly. So that really says a lot about the machine that you have. And would you be able to change the font and sizes? Absolutely. That's all done in Design Space. So when you make your project, you can decide how you want it to look, what you want it to do. That Marian Bright tag that we made at the very beginning, that we used the bold and we switched out to the bold is at the top. We switched out to the thinner side. Try to get that in the light right for you. So yes, you can play around with those different line thicknesses. So that's the thing. You should think about, like, where's it going to cut? How can I score? Can I change from a light, medium, or bold tip? Can I, and then start playing with the colors. That's like the next level.
So someone wants to know if they should cut off the used portion of the foil before they use the unused portion.
Right. Yeah. So imagine that this part is no longer usable. So I would cut that away and make that trash. But I would save this little corner over here, because I'm a thrifty crafter. And then I would use all of that down there. Yeah. And then the cool thing about Design Space too is that you can move your piece around to be exactly in the little spot that's going to use up that exact foil. So you can get that to apply right down exactly where you want it. I think somebody has a question about the recording.
Yes.
Michael's makes these available.
Yes. I'm going to post the link in the chat. You can find it. It's available, and it'll be available in about 24 hours on our website.
Can you use a tablet or phone instead of a desktop? Now, that's a very important question. Currently, you need to use your desktop. This is not interfaced with the phone or the iPad or the tablet. So bear with us. We hear loud and clear that you guys would like to have it in more ways, but we definitely wanted to get this product into everybody's hands in a way that we could, that made the experience the best it could be. So bear with us. Our software team is amazing. Yeah, you can use your laptop. All right, I think it's coming to an end. All right, I'm trying to think if I have anything else to show you guys. So this is the project that we're making. This camera doesn't focus automatically like the others. But you can see those different colors. It's a happy birthday card. And within the Make It Now project, it also has the envelope. So I've already cut a matching envelope. So that's kind of cool. All right, here it is. Now we can reveal our foil. And remember, we scored, we've done our foil, and the last part we're going to do is cut. So I'm taking this off quickly, but I'm actually, by accident, I went too fast and I tore my paper a little bit. So go slow, you guys. That's the lesson. Don't try to go too fast. But I've got the colors on there. And we're going to go ahead and switch out to the fine blade. And hit go. And now it's going to cut. So everything's all done. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. I think Siobhan shared some information, so I'll take that back to the team. Thank you very much. That's great. All right, for anybody who
People are
has to
excited.
leave.
It's just in time for the holidays.
I know, right? It's just in time. If anybody has to leave, I totally understand. And thank you so much for attending the class. So here is our beautiful card.
Do you want to switch over to overhead so the camera focuses better?
Yes, I can do that.
All right.
Okay, switch. So I just took it off the mat. The best way to take anything off of the mat is to turn the mat over and peel it back, because then it comes off a little easier. And I'm going to try and keep my mat separate from my foil. That's an important lesson. And then this just folds right over, and there we have it. A gorgeous, beautiful card with all those colors on it. And then the envelope is in there as well. And I hope my daughter's not watching, because I just made this card for her birthday.
Aw.
I know. So I hope you guys had fun. I'm going to switch over just so I can say goodbye to you. I hope everybody had fun and enjoyed the class. And I appreciate you guys sort of hanging out with me and going back and forth. Some of the main takeaways that I had: remember to read the instructions in Design Space. Remind yourself to take the foil off. Don't cut. Remember to make sure you have the right blades and everything. So you'll be good to go if you do all that. I really appreciate everybody coming to class, and I hope you make beautiful things. When you make your projects, if you're sharing them on social media, be sure to use the hashtag Cricut with Michaels. I watch that, and I love to see what you guys are making. So thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody being here. I hope you have a great day and happy holidays.